Welcome to the Elevating La Cultura podcast, a space where I talk with Latinas who are passionate about what they do and are willing to share that passion with others to change the narrative, especially for the next generation. Each season is centered around different topics, but all with the Latina perspective. Welcome to Season 9, where we will talk about reflecting on personal stories and letting our brilliance shine. I'm so excited to share these powerful conversations. So vámonos, and let's get into it. Hey, today's episode is a little different because I have a huge announcement. I'm going to be chatting with Monika from Our Latina Lens, who I had on the podcast previously on episode 75, which was in season 7. We are collaborating on a big event that we will be hosting here in Chicago called Cuentos Reframed, a 3-day summit for photographers and creatives. If you caught our live on Instagram last week, you already got a little bit of the cheesemate on what we've been planning, but I wanted to create an episode that really dove into explaining what's in store. This summit is the first of its kind as it's planned, led, and facilitated all by Latinas. We are so excited about it. Okay, Monika is going to take it away.
Sure. I am so excited because Karina came to me. We had been talking about collaborating in some way, and I love Chicago. I've told her I went to Chicago for a while. I had a very idyllic experience in Chicago right out of college. So I'm so excited to come back to do the first summit from Our Latina Lens in collaboration with Elevating La Cultura called Cuentos Reframed. And that is a very intentional title because we are going to be bringing what I believe is the first all Latina photographer photo teacher event where we are tapping some of the brilliant minds that you all have in Chicago in the photography world to teach and to share their experience about photography, and not just the technical side, but the storytelling side, the connecting side. And it is super exciting to be doing this work with Karina. So thank you, Karina.
Yes, we have been talking about collaborating for a while. And I think this year, it was at the beginning of this year or like right at the end of last year that you're just like, should we do a summit? And I was just like, yeah, that sounds great. And like the next day you booked tickets and I was just like, oh, this is really happening. And so
Thank you, Southwest, for your very flexible ticket policy because, yes, I was like, all right, let's book it. Let's go.
Yes, I have never had someone so committed. And I think it takes a while for me to trust a collaborator. But when I saw that you were serious and you're like, tickets booked, I was like, let's go. Let's get this off the ground and running. Because I have been in the photography industry for probably 15 years now and have gone to many summits, many workshops, many trainings, and I have never had a workshop or training be facilitated by Latine creatives. And so knowing that we are being intentional about who we bring on board, how we create the whole weekend is so exciting to me. And it's just what my brand is about. And I am just so excited to be elevating La Cultura during this weekend and really elevating the voices of Chicago creatives.
Yes, yes. And anyone who has heard the many pieces of the origin story of Our Latina Lens, it really grew from my frustration of wanting to learn photography, wanting to be in community, and not being able to find. So when the pandemic hit and everyone was doing all kinds of photo education online, I was just sucking it up. I was like, conferences, communities, I was all in it. And about 3 or 4 months into it, I was like, wait a minute. How have I done so many classes? How have I done so many free conferences and not a single one of the teachers were Latina? Wait a minute. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. where are they? And I actually just looked at my Instagram, where you can look at the people who you follow, and I didn't know you could arrange by the date that you followed them. And Karina, you're at the top of my list. You're like one of the first photographers that I found and started following when Our Latina Lens started. So yes, this is a dream come true. And it is very much thinking about how does Our Latina Lens as a national community partner with photographers in different places to tap and say, Karina, who's in your network? Who are the people who really are on point and can share their knowledge, experience, expertise that maybe haven't gotten the mic before? So, or maybe they have, but we want to give them the mic and we want to share what they know with other people, in addition to, Karina and I sharing our expertise as well with the community.
Yeah. So this is going to be a 3-day weekend. We're starting on Friday with a workshop where we're going to have 3 facilitators coming through and really talking about the skill of being more than just technically skilled, but also how to connect and really story tell when you are photographing. I think we just got off a live and you mentioned that the skill of taking photos is just a fraction of what it means to take a photo and capture an image. We are, as photographers, we are literally like capturing a moment in time to be remembered, whether that is a product, whether that is a family or a couple, or even like just solo photos that we put
Any of
up.
us these days that
Yeah.
have any kind of business and need to take pictures. I mean, I've had the
Yes.
experience, I'm sure you have too, where we've had to be behind the camera and all of a sudden you're like, like you get in this space of maybe a little bit self-conscious of needing to trust the person that's taking photos with you. And sometimes you don't have that much time. So how do you, as a photographer, on the flip side, create that trust, create that energy and connection so that you can show the person in as much authenticity as you can in that moment, right? As genuine as interactions, the laughter, all the things that you want to capture to have those photos. And you have found some amazing experts in this area.
Yeah. So I want to shout out Veronica from Golden Mean Boudoir. She is going to be facilitating one of the workshops and really teaching us how to create a safe space. As a boudoir photographer, she is really intentional about creating safety from start to finish. So from that first interaction with whoever is interested in booking with her to the final product that she is delivering. And I am just in awe of how she does it. And I hear her clients like praise her and say like, thank you for making me feel so safe, for me to be able to be vulnerable and fully in the moment. And so I'm excited for her to be leading that workshop. And we also have Adri, who is a family photographer, and she's also a birth and newborn photographer. She is amazing. I love all her photos, and she really captures the authenticity and really tells a story of the family dynamic. And so I think that is an important skill to have. I love how she is just creative behind the lens. She also is like, she hosts a yearly self-portrait challenge, and she does that for a whole month throughout the year. And I just think it's so important for us to be able to feel comfortable in front of the lens, because we need to be able to feel how our clients feel and how to pull that out from them by first being able to connect and pull that out from ourselves. So she is going to be a workshop facilitator, and then I will be facilitating a workshop on how to tell the story of a brand or a product. I work very closely with a Chicago-based product company, Volverde, and I do their product photography, and we have just had an amazing time creating these scenes for their products and really applying or like bringing in our cultura to the photo session and creating these vignettes. And so we are like bringing representation to the home goods space. And I'm so excited to be facilitating this workshop during our workshop day.
And I'm so excited that on Friday we'll have all these photographers here. And of course, we're going to do a photo session so that we continue to have imagery that represents Latina photographers, even though this workshop is open to anyone. So our presenters are Latina, but we also want to make clear that all photographers are welcome to sign up and learn from these incredible experts.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we are open to anyone who wants to join us, but we are also being very intentional about the voices that are in those leadership and facilitator roles. And so that is really exciting because I think like this is the first photography summit put on by Latina photographers, facilitated by Latina photographers. All the workshop leaders are Latinas. Like, are we making history? I don't know.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting. I'm also excited for our second day, which is a little more open if you're a content creator, small business. You know, we will be welcoming some incredible wellness speakers. Karina, do you want to share who you've invited in for Saturday?
Yes. So Izzy is a friend of mine. She is a yoga instructor. She has a business here just outside the city, and she focuses on Neuro-Yoga. And so that is very much focusing on breath work and how it deals with our brain and being able to ground ourselves. And so she is leading a sound bath meditation to open up the day. And I'm so excited. I've been friends with her for a while. She is also a previous podcast guest, and she's opening it up for us that day. Then you are leading a workshop on grant writing. So you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so another gift, you know, we had the pandemic was hard, but we did receive some gifts during that time. And for me, it was in the form of learning more about grant writing and funding for small businesses. So I did a workshop where someone said, you don't have to be a nonprofit to get grants. And I was like, wait, what? That is not something I've ever heard before. So I've done a deep dive, and as a leader of a photography organization, I'm always on the lookout for new grants. And for Our Latina Lens, we have not only a running list, but have been developing relationships with with organizations who give out grants. So virtually, I've done a workshop for our community on grants before that was well received, and I also got some feedback. So we are refining that and bringing it to the summit. So to talk about not only grants, what they are, how you might find them, how you might apply for them. And I have a grant planner that I'll share with the community. We'll also talk about other kinds of funding sources that might be helpful for photographers and any small creative business who might be looking for ways to grow or fulfill different visions and projects that they might have. So I'm super excited to share that information.
And then another workshop facilitator that I have invited is Dahlia. She has also been a previous podcast guest, and all these episodes will be linked in the show notes so you can see and hear who they are. But Dahlia is going to be leading a somatic movement practice and teaching us about somatic movement and giving us some good grounding skills, because as photographers, it is so important that we are grounded within ourselves before we show up to a session. I think our clients are already feeling a lot of emotion, whether it's excitement, nervousness, stress. And if we can be that grounding presence to really give them that peace of mind, it will be easier for them to show up authentically and for us to be able to capture what they desire from the photography session.
Absolutely. I've definitely learned as a small business owner and photographers, right? We get into it for the photography, but then realize we have to be business owners as well. That oftentimes, especially in first gen, second gen immigrant folks, like when we start a business and we get into ideas about money or making money or asking money, like a lot comes up in our bodies. So being able to have the kind of strategies that Dahlia talks about and the way she talks about somatic healing, I'm just super excited to include her, and that knowing that everyone will walk away with some real great tools to be able to work through anything that comes up for them.
For sure. And throughout the weekend, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for connection, networking, community, overall fun times, cultura, good food, all the things.
Absolutely. And I'm excited
Yeah.
to talk about the future of photography, right? Karina and I have had to have lots of conversations about what are the shifts in the industry, how could they affect people, what are the new technologies. So we will also be having a session where we are able to really talk about and dig into those ideas and new concepts that are coming, and reminding ourselves that photography has been around for a long time and it's had lots of technological changes, but we're still here. We're still making pictures.
Yes, for sure. And I think it's going to be a really special experience to be able to do photo walks throughout the weekend as well. I think we have one planned for Friday. One might come up on Saturday, but then Sunday to end the whole experience, we are doing like a morning cafecito photo walk with everyone.
Yes. So exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, we've given you all of the information that we have so far. If you have any questions, feel free to send an email, send a DM, but for sure visit the website ourlatinalens.com. All the info should be on the homepage.
So please get on the wait list. You can find that on our Instagram pages. And Our Latina Lens is planning on launching our brand new website. You may be hearing it here first. And one of the first things that we will be announcing on there is this Cuentos Reframed Summit. So super excited to have those two launches coinciding.
Yes. All right. I think we covered it all.
Thank you, Karina, and thank you for everyone for listening. And I am so excited to see those of you who can make it in Chicago. July 26th to the 28th, if we haven't said that already.
Join us in Chicago. It is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right. See you there.
Ciao.
All right, you heard it. Monika and I are hosting the first Our Latina Lens Summit called Cuentos Reframed. It's going to be July 26th to the 28th, and you can get all of the pricing information on the website at ourlatinalens.com. Join the waitlist to be the first to get the access to the tickets. Okay, there will be a new episode every Tuesday, so after you listen, feel free to take a screenshot, post on Instagram, and tag at Elevating La Cultura, or send me a DM. You can also comment on our YouTube video if you're watching online. I always like to hear from people and how they resonate with the stories that I share. So leave a review on Apple Podcasts so we can get more ears listening to these stories and we can continue elevating La Cultura. We also host monthly Comadre networking events, so if you're in Chicago, join us for one of those. All upcoming events can be found on the website elevatinglacultura.com. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening, y nos vemos next week. Bye.